I think being in a safe, permanent, and nurturing home means that as a child, you have a chance to just be a kid and be able to grow up and play and be around loved ones. I think that's such a special thing, and that's something that every child deserves.
I wish people realized how many at-need children there are, and that donating your time is worth a lot more than money sometimes.
I wish there were more of us, because there's a real need. There's a real need for us to be doing this. So maybe that's the biggest motivation is there's an imbalance between the demand and the supply.
Our goal for CASA of Westmoreland is really to have more, have a wait list of advocates for the children instead of a wait list of children. And if we can achieve that goal, I think we'll be incredibly successful.
I wish people knew how volunteer-based we are. We wouldn't have a program without our volunteers, and that's why we're always in need of more volunteers. We have a wait list of around 40 children, and that list keeps growing.
Basically, the children we served are children who have been removed from their home due to abuse and or neglect. They're going through, they're in foster care placement. They're going through the foster care system. They're going through the court system to figure out this next chapter of their life. And it's such a scary time in their life because they're going through it without their family, their friends. They don't really have like those consistent individuals in their life to help them through this process.
We have volunteer advocates that we place onto dependency court cases of children who are going through the dependency court system, and they advocate in court on behalf of those children.
They're going to be going in and visiting those kiddos once a month. So oftentimes, like I said before, that's in their foster placement. But if the case is moving towards reunification, towards the end of the case, those children will be on a child home visit. So those kiddos will be back with their mother or father, and the CASA will be visiting them.
Prior to getting involved with CASA, I was a state trooper for 31 years. And then I became a county detective for another 14 years. So I spent 45 years in law enforcement. And my job with the Westmoreland County detectives was basically child abuse investigations. So I got really involved with the kids doing that. And since I retired, I was looking for another way to help the kids. And so it was an easy transition for me. I was familiar with the court system and everything. So, but after working with them as a police officer, I felt I could help them out once I retired.
I had known several families who had just started being foster families, met them through my kids' school activities, and I really admired what they were doing. I knew at the time that I was not able to do that. That was not a good fit for my family. And so I sort of shelved the idea of it. And somewhere along the line, I think from a local newspaper article, and then eventually a billboard, and then I got a postcard in the mail all about CASA. And by the time I had the third reminder, I was in a place I could do it. And I guess because I had time to think about it, it kind of was in the back of my mind, and it seemed another way that I could help out, not being a foster mother, but learning that there are other ways that I could contribute.
But I would say a big misconception is that that they're going to be the ones doing the adopting, or that they are, they're physically going to look after that child, or if there's a situation or a dispute or something going on in a home, that the advocate's going in and going to be the one to solve it. And those are never the things that happen in relation to our program and what our advocates do. They're just looking out for the child and making sure that their best interests are being met throughout the life of the case.
So the CASA acts as their voice in court. So they write a court report or they make recommendations on behalf of the child's best interest. The main goal of a CASA is to be that one consistent person throughout their life of the case.
The CASA volunteer will visit them on a monthly basis, see how they're doing, if they need anything, and they will write a report to the court. That's typically every 3 to 6 months.
So the role of a CASA is to make sure that that child is safe where they are placed. Another role that a CASA does is attends hearings, attend them with the child, and speak up in best interest of that child.
They are the one person that those kids can go to for, assurance and, stability.
There's two important roles CASAs plays. First, in the court, it's important for us to hear the child's perspective that we might not get otherwise. I always like to say the decisions we make in court are only as good as the information we have. So getting that extra input, extra source of information is very important to us in making sure we make the right decisions. Outside of court, the role the CASA plays is every bit as important because the children need stability and extra connections in their life because often they're taken from their families, they don't have the stability. So it's essential that they have that adult figure that they can count on. If they move placements, that CASA is going to follow them, so they'll always have that person with them as they go through the system.
It's about building relationships and gathering information, and then eventually reporting the information. So the court is represented by the judges or the hearing officers, relies on what we've learned about how the child's doing and all of the services that are going on. And those connections they're personal. They're mostly with the child, but also with families and other helpers.
My role is, as an advocate, is to make sure that they're getting everything they need. If they need any special programs or anything like that, I look into them and recommend them. Work closely with Children's Bureau, and just to make sure the kids are getting what they need, and the foster families too are getting what they need.
There's so much training and support for the volunteers. I would say we're very well prepared volunteers.
I guess it was last year we realized that one of the barriers to getting a lot of volunteers was our training schedule that we had. It was in the evenings. So we created an online version, a self-paced one last summer, and it's been very successful.
We're in constant communication throughout these trainings with them, making sure they're getting all the information needed, answering any questions that they have, tracking their progress, and making sure that it's all, going through smoothly.
So I was actually able to be a part of a case that came into the county when I was in internship here. I actually saw that case come to a close this past last week. It was the children and the siblings of the individual involved in this case, and those siblings were able to be adopted. And it was actually really wonderful to see, our CASA involved and the whole full circle moment of the family. And it was a really nice and proud moment, I think, for the organization.
You see the case from whether it's start to finish or it's a case that's been going on for a long time, and then it's finally going to be closing and there's a happy ending to it. There's no better feeling than when you're sitting in on that adoption hearing and you see the smile on that kid's face, and you see the smile on the parent's face or just the family's face, that they're one big happy family. They get to move forward in a happy, positive direction.
If you're considering it, I would encourage you to sign up for the training. There's a lot to learn. Again, the staff and the CASA system make it very doable. And if you're inclined to think you could do it, I would say maybe the only other thing to consider is to acknowledge you're going to hear, learn, and eventually see some really hard things. But you can do it. You can do it. There are people to help, and you're not alone. And when you need to say, I saw something upsetting, or I need to vent, your supervisor is there for you. The whole staff is there for you, and the other advocates. are there to support you as well.